The answer to the question, what is life, is the most simple, yet the most complex one. Some define it to be a race, some a journey. However, each definition of life converges and agrees to the point of its dynamism. One stands on the crossroad of a city and finds the answer, how fast life actually is. Thousands and thousands of faces with same fervor cross the crossroad within a fraction of a second. Inability to cope up with the speed is a vice here. However, this world consists of people who have difficulty in coping up with this pace and dynamism. How do they survive in this world which is so fast? What is their definition of life? This is the story of those people who, because of their physical limitations, have suffered. But using their immense internal strength and will, they were able to build a parallel definition of life. Come, let's see how that looks like. When I started my medical career, I was in the second, third year, and I started to go to the wards. I found that it is very easy to understand cardiology, it is very easy to understand nephrology, means kidney disorder, but brain was very, very difficult. For each disease, there was different presentation. And it was very difficult to know what's going inside the brain, what's going inside the mind of the patient. And that started my interest towards neurology. Unfortunately, I got hold of a book, which was original Parkinson's book. That was a book known as Essay on Shaking Palsy, written by James Parkinson's. I read that book and that was fascinating. That was story of 5 patients. On the basis of those 5 patients, he told everything about Parkinson's disease, and that told me that I have to go for Parkinson's disease. I have to learn more about Parkinson's disease. So that day I learned that Parkinson's means slowness in walking, stiffness, rigidity, tremor. That is Parkinson's disease.
I really don't know how to explain this. Now, sometimes when I'm sleeping, a tremor starts. Tremor, involuntary tremor, and it's a disease which starts killing your muscles, the movement. If you don't move enough, you have muscle. If you run from my place here down, Birla Planetarium, across to Red Road, round the race course, Ravinder Southern, back. It's been about 10 kilometers. Then suddenly this has happened. It's really put me down. I can't walk. I can, but it's all wobbly. I've fallen several times on the street. All these little things have play on your mind. The meaning says it's mental health. But it's not. The disease is Parkinson's, and it is going to deteriorate all your movement from time to time. That is the disease.
আমাকে মুভমেন্টটা স্লো করে গেছে। আমি ধরুন একটা সময় নিজে খুব ব্যাডমিন্টন খেলতাম, ব্যাডমিন্টনটা আমার খুব প্রিয় খেলা, ড্রাইভ করতাম, কিন্তু এখন ড্রাইভ করা যে নর্মালি যেরকম উঠে একটু চট করে হাঁটা চলা, সেটা একটু স্লো হয়ে যায়।
মুভমেন্টটাই আমার এখন মেজর। গোড়ার দিকে তো অতটা লাগতো না, এখন একটুখানি চলতে ফিরতে অসুবিধা হয় বলে সঙ্গে যায়। খালি মনে হয় কোনোভাবে যদি চলাটা আমার মুভমেন্টটাকে ওভারকাম করতে পারি, আর কিছু আমার দরকার।
My brother is suffering from Parkinson's disease since last 16 years. I have seen him going through all the phases of Parkinson's disease. His disease started with tremor, then the drooling, then the moaning in sleep, then he was suffering from all types of fatigue, depression, and difficulty in speech, difficulty in swallowing, and ultimately he was suffering from dyskinesia. And this dyskinesia is the bad effect of actually medicine. We consulted so many doctors, a number of doctors, and the answer is go for DBS, deep brain stimulation surgery.
Mr. Shyamasa has Parkinson's disease for a long time, and as the medicines were not working that well, he went for a pacemaker. By pacemaker we feel that all the time heart pacemaker, but he has undergone a brain pacemaker, which we call as deep brain stimulation, DBS. You can see a small elevation here. This was the site of surgery. The wire has gone inside, and the end of the wire is coming down to this battery here. So this battery is stimulating both the wires, and the wire is going inside to stimulate the part of brain which produces a chemical known as dopamine, and that dopamine is important for Parkinson's disease. Can I show the battery, sir? Just little bit. Khub bhalo, khub bhalo. So this is the battery he has, and he is carrying there for the rest of the life. And from this battery there is stimulation of the brain, and he has improved to some extent. So that is we call as deep brain stimulation. But what happens that it's like medicine. When you give one medicine, that's not enough for the rest of the life. Likewise, the parameters, that means voltage, you have to keep on changing, and this is the instrument through which we increase or decrease the voltage. So patient comes to us every 2 or 3 months time, and as we do adjustment in the dose of medicine, we do adjustment of the voltage also. This we call as program. Dr. Shantanu is our colleague. He helps me and he works in neurology. He's a neurologist trained in Bangalore, and he has joined here. I'll ask him that because he has worked in different parts of India, what challenges you see in treating case of Parkinson's disease as a doctor?
So one of the challenges is that Parkinson's is a progressive condition, and we see patients after say 4 months or 6 months intervals, and sometimes patients come back with worsening of symptoms. And as a doctor, I know that the patient requires higher dose of levodopa, but it is very difficult sometimes to convince the patient that this is the best medication, and increasing the dose of the same medication is going to help, because the patient sometimes is hoping for some miraculous improvement and maybe some new drug which will fix their problems. But the fact is that we have to give the same tablet at the maximum doses and try to convince the patient and give them hope that adjustment of the doses will again cause some improvement gradually. And sometimes it is difficult for patient to accept that.
To understand.
Parkinson's patient, they do feel socially alienated, ostracized even at times at workplace. So the social worker support, giving them emotional support, giving them hope, and probably listening to them. The main thing he wants is that we listen to him.
Yeah. Okay, regarding how many Parkinson's disease patients we have in Calcutta or in Bengal, the problem in India is that proper data collection is lacking. So we can just assume an intelligent assumption, but we cannot say very clearly. At least one patient of Parkinson's disease per 1,000 population. So one patient per 1,000 population. You can imagine that Bengal will have at least 50,000 Parkinson's patient at this point in time, and this number is growing. At the same time, to treat them, we have about 100 neurologists. Out of those 100 neurologists, about 3 people are there who are trained for Parkinson's disease treatment, who are fellowship trained. So only 3 Parkinson's disease doctors for more than 50,000 population of Parkinson's. You can imagine the gap, and this is more in this part of this gap is more in this part of India. In western part of India, like Mumbai, in northern part like Delhi, There are more Parkinson's trained neurologists and their things are a little better. Talking about patient care of Parkinson's disease, or for that matter any disease in India, what is happening, the patient comes to a doctor and he or she expects everything to be explained to him, and that's the end of it. This is not optimum. There has to be some link between patient and the doctor, because disease is day in and day out. They have to understand all the aspects of disease. What we saw in when I worked in Canada and UK, there are very strong patient support group for each diseases, be it Parkinson's disease, be it dystonia, be it myelopathy or spinal cord disease. We had to write medicine, we had to tell the diagnosis, and after the diagnosis they used to go to the society, and that particular society, say dystonia society or Parkinson's society, people used to go to the home to explain about the disease. So there has to be a link between myself or a doctors and the patient, and that we call a society. Keeping that in mind, myself and some of my good friends, Ms. Mitrasen Majumdar, who is herself is sister of a Parkinson's patient, Mr. Ashutosh Biswas, and a lot of my colleagues, they came forward and we started a society known as Parkinson's Disease Patient Welfare Society of Kolkata. That's PDPWSK. What we are doing in that, we are still in the infancy stage, we are still in the nascent stage. We get together, we call the patients, we do different programs at various places, and that way a lot of people have come forward to help with some money, with some expertise. We have some physiotherapists, they have given free session. We had some famous dancer like Mrs. Aloknanda Ray. She came forward and she gave a dance lesson to the Parkinson's patient. What I see that these things are helping Parkinson's patient, but more than that, what is helping is the camaraderie. They come together, they talk to each other, they talk about the disease, they go back home with some hope. They keep contact with each other. Any problem comes to them, they talk to each other, and that helps quite a lot. Till now, we have a small group of patients who are very regular. I want to have a big group in Calcutta and West Bengal, and that way society is very important. What myself, secretary of the society, Mrs. Majumdar and other colleagues, what we foresee that each patient should work as our ambassador. Each family member of the patient should work as our ambassador. So one patient you teach, they can teach 10 patients, and 10 patients they can teach another 10 patients. So that will be a domino effect. This is what we foresee in the future.
In the society, the committee has all types of persons, that is doctors, physiotherapists, then patient party, social activists, researchers, scientists who are doing research in Parkinson's disease. Dr. Kumar himself, head of the Department of Neurology, as well as he is the Vice Chairman of IMK and Director of Rehabilitation Center thereon. He conducted all the research on Parkinson's disease there. So we have successfully formed the society, and he has given all the responsibility to me to form the society, and we have formed the society in 2014, and from 2014 and till date we have done 6 back-to-back successful sessions on different types of activities like Tai Chi, workshop on dance, and physiotherapy. Then we have done a workshop on bakery, and patient parties were very much happy about the activities. They are very much interested, enthusiastic to meet there. They mingle with each other, they express their views there, they are very happy to be there, and they now demand on a regular basis this type of activities. And actually these type of activities reduce the depression, the stress of the person concerned. Not only the patients, the caregivers are also need this type of activities. Actually see, Parkinson's disease is such a disease the patient needs 24/7 hours care, and it is very difficult for a caregiver to do this type of caregiving for a longer period. So they also need space for themselves. So this type of society is very helpful, and we have so many programs in our kitties. In future, we are yet to open a helpline for the Parkinson patients and their caregivers, and we are planning to start the activities on day-to-day basis. Then we are going to open a daycare center so that patients can come and spend whole day. They can develop, we are ready to develop some hobby centers for the patients and to engage them whole day. Not only that, this year we have participated in the Tata Marathon. You will be surprised to know that Dr. Rishikesh Kumar, who himself is an international marathon runner, he ran for 25 kilometers for his patients, and other members ran for 10 kilometers, and senior citizens ran for 5 kilometers. This year we are planning to engage our patients in that marathon also. So this is our future program. The main message I want to give as a secretary of the society, that the patient and patient party, that don't think you are alone in this world. We are there as a support system, and I have dedicated my life for them.
এনাদের কাজকর্ম সত্যি সত্যি আমাকে অবাক করে দেয়। এই কিছুদিন আগে একটা এক্সিবিশন হলো আমাদের এখানে গড়িয়াতে, সেখানে অ্যাসোসিয়েশন থেকে পার্টিসিপেট করা হলো, স্টল দেওয়া হলো, কিছু কাজকর্ম মানে ওই কিছু পোস্টার করে দেওয়ার কথা, সেটা আমরা করলাম। সেটা বাড়িতে নিয়ে যাওয়াতে আমার স্ত্রীও খুব হেল্প করলেন, এবং সেই পোস্টার সহজে আমরা ডিসপ্লে করা হলো। আমরা যে ডিসপ্লে করলাম তাতে ভীষণ রকম এনকারেজিং রেসপন্স আমরা পেয়েছি। মানে থ্যাঙ্কস টু অ্যাসোসিয়েশনের এই অ্যাক্টিভিটিস, এবং মানে মিসেস মীরা সেন এবং আরেকজন ভদ্রমহিলা, এনারা অক্লান্ত পরিশ্রম করে মানে পেশেন্টদের সবাইকে ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি বারবার অনুরোধ করে সবাই কোনো যাওয়া, এবং ওনারা তো ছিলেনই ওখানে, মানে প্রায় দিন 15 ধরে এটা হলে সেটা ওনারা ছিলেন। এবং ডক্টর ঋষিকেশ কুমারও একদিন এসে সবাইকে নানা রকম কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার ইয়েতে ছিলেন, সেশনে ছিলেন। এটা আমার কাছে খুব এনকারেজিং লেগেছে, এবং এই অ্যাসোসিয়েশনের মাধ্যমে বিভিন্ন লোকের সঙ্গে আলাপ হচ্ছে, সেটাও একটা আমার কাছে একটা বড়।
What this disease taught me, the resilience of the patients. They were on wheelchair for last 4 or 5 years, still they were looking towards life, and that was quite amazing to see. Despite having Parkinson's disease, despite having any disease, you can live better. So that way patients are a great teacher. Unfortunately or fortunately, Parkinson's means disease of older age, and because I was working in Parkinson's area, I was exposed to a lot of patients who were 80, 75, 90, 85. We used to spend a lot of time with them, half an hour, 45 minutes. And they used to tell about their life history. So each patient behind them, behind this stiffness, rigidity, tremor, they had a story to tell. And that story is my treasure, my treasure. So positive thinking, আপনি জানেন positive thinking কি? Positive thinking?
পজিটিভ থিঙ্কিং সম্বন্ধে আমার খুব ভালো আইডিয়া নেই, তবে একটু বুঝি যে পারবো না, কথা ভাবলে হবে না, পারবো।
খুব ভালো, খুব ভালো, এটা পজিটিভ থিঙ্কিং।
এটা পজিটিভ থিঙ্কিং।
কিন্তু মোরাল সাপোর্টটা একটা নষ্ট করে, কারণ একটা অস্বস্তি থাকে, এই বুঝি আমাকে লোকে কিছু বললো, এই বুঝি আমি কী ব্যাপার আপনি জোরে জোরে হাঁটতেন আগে, এখন আপনি স্লো হয়ে হাঁটছেন, কী হয়েছে, আপনি খোঁড়াচ্ছেন কেন, আপনার হাতটা দেখছি একটু কাঁপছে কেন, এইসব হওয়াতে মানসিক দিক থেকে একটা মানে প্রেশার আসে। কিন্তু সেটাকে ওভারকাম করার সম্পূর্ণ নিজের উপর, ফ্যামিলি সাপোর্ট, এটা একটা সাংঘাতিক প্রয়োজন।
আমি একজন পার্কিনসন পেশেন্ট। আমার পার্কিনসন আছে বলে আমি এখন ভাবি না। আমি বলতে পারি আরও যারা এই ধরনের পেশেন্ট আছে তারা মনের জোর বাড়ান। এই মনের জোর দেখবেন একদিন অনেক দূরে নিয়ে যাবে। এই রোগটা রোগী নয়। সখী ভাবনা কাহারে বলে, সখী যাতনা কাহারে বলে, তোমরা যে বলো দিবস রজনী, ভালোবাসা ভালোবাসা, সখী ভালোবাসা কারে কয়।
Stories of suffering are numerous, but stories of overcoming them through hope and motivation are rare. The end that we perceive is not always the end to everything. Probably it's just the beginning of a new journey full of motivation and will to overcome the suffering, a journey filled with stories of messiahs who will help people by holding hands.